An interesting question. Is age just a number in business?
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, sir.
Billy, how are you, bud?
Really well. And yourself, Mark?
Yeah, good, buddy. The old Billy, the old man in a young man's body.
But this is a scary topic, especially for a lot of the young people, because you're in an industry where you're starting out against people that have been doing it a very long time. And are you ever going to win a listing against someone that has got, double your age, double the experience? Is age just a number?
And this is something that definitely rattles around your mind. I know it's come up a lot in conversation, a lot in these broadcasts that we do, and it bothers you, hey?
Yeah. I mean, you're really in an industry where if you're moving into sales, you need to sell to make a living. So you got to hope that you're doing something right in order to win listings. And it does seem to be that age comes into it a little bit, and there's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. So, you've got to find a way around it to, to try and win the business. But
Yep.
it is an interesting topic. I mean, would you ever choose someone based on age?
Probably not. But I think the big thing is, and look, I was selling at the age of 18, 19, 20. So I did a year and a half in sort of like a receptionist position in an office in Motorvale, Stacey First National. Then I moved over to a property manager's role with Nick Fagel Real Estate in DY at the age of 18. And Nick said he was going to give me a job in rentals, but he gave me a job in sales. And he threw me a book, which was the multi-list book, which used to have open listings. And basically he said, mate, just call every single buyer that we've got on our books and find them a property that's within this book. And there was like 50 properties in that book for sale. And I just sat there like a crazy person, just called. And I think, just muddled through with buyers and just hammered the calls out. But it's a hard one for you, mate. It's a hard one. I think as a buyer you don't really mind, but I think as a seller, that's when you're selecting your agent a bit more, with the magnifying glass.
Well, that's it. Like, it's nice that you can, in some ways, hide behind the computer, the emails, the phone calls. You can be so technical, so good at what you do, but it's getting face to face with people. I think that's where it sometimes causes you an issue, being young. And I don't think it's ever an issue of people, seeing the young face. I think a lot of people actually quite like that. I think in some cases, though, people just don't see confidence in a young face compared to someone that's been doing it for a really long time, or just looks like they've been doing it a long time, been around the block.
Yeah, you are buying experience. I think when you're selecting an agent, you're buying experience. You're selling one of the biggest asset you've ever had. And I think you're buying enthusiasm, which is what Luke was saying. It's one of those things. Actually, Luke's brought up two really good ones. Experience over age is also people going, but how do you overcome that, Billy? How are you going to get out there and overcome that experience hurdle? Because you've definitely got the enthusiasm hurdle. How are you going to do it?
You just do it. You just make a start and you just do it. I think you can't, bullshit, so to speak, the experience part. Like, you've either got some experience or no experience, but if you start, you're one step ahead. Working closely with people, I think we've practiced it quite well, Mark, going into presentations with a senior person. Not so much that you are just showing the other person's face as well, but you're there to learn off the other traits, which has worked nicely for us. It's certainly helped me. And I think if you can take away the ego part of that, thinking, I either got to share the business with someone else in the office or, say it wasn't just Billy that brought it on. That's a nice thing to do. It works well.
Sorry, I didn't understand that one. The share thing?
I think it's a good way to try and get some experience is to share the listing presentation with a senior person.
Yep.
Then you're not alone, and you can learn off their traits in those moments. Taking the ego out of it, where you're the young person, you need to just try and learn off someone else that's done it plenty of times before. That's worked well for us.
And you know what I find with people select people also are really smart, and they don't just select experience; they do select the enthusiasm. I think I know Tom Panos says it well. Hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle, and I think that's a really, really massive one in the marketplace for young people starting. The guys that are sort of 17 through to 21, there's just this, and probably 17 through to 28 actually, there's this enormous amount of hustle and enthusiasm which you can bottle and you can buy, and I do think that that's very, very attractive to sellers in the marketplace when they see that energy, when they see that hard working, that prowess, and even if you don't have that experience, I think people friggin' love it. And often they said that they almost emulate where they wish their kids were doing that, and they want to reward that. So I did find that at your age, Billy, there was people in the marketplace that just sort of shook their head at the energy and were just almost as they were just like, that's a disgusting amount of energy. I want you to sell my property. They love it. I think Josh Teslin is a little bit like that in Ray White out in Quakers Hill. He's just a ball of fire. And then people are like, I don't care about your age. You are a ball of fire, and we want to employ that in the sale of our property.
Yeah. There's a nice comment there from Tamara. Yeah, I think it's really important to use those senior people for your benefit more than anything else. Learn off them, take as much as you can from it. And a good way to do that is to be live in the field with them. Another nice thing that Luke has mentioned is recent experience. Mark, that's so different to general experience. There's a lot of agents that can go stale, not changing their ways, keeping up with the times. I think if you can try and bring social media is one of them. I think if you can try and bring in your results of recent, they're far more powerful than anything that was done even 12 months ago, because that market's now gone.
God bless Luke and his comments. He's a legend.
It's
really a three-person show. He's a weapon. Call out the elephant in the room during discussions. Yep. Morning, guys. Hey, Robert, how are you, legend? But yeah, I think in summary, guys, I think this is it. If we're gonna bottle up this topic, this is what I would be saying. Hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. So if you are young and you are hardworking and you are, really, really eager and outwork and outpace your competition, you're going to get business. I think, what Tamara outlined with what you said, Billy, was I think if you can work alongside an experienced person, if you think about the access that I just spoke about, what are you giving the senior? You're giving that senior hustle and eagerness. And what's that senior giving you? Experience and knowledge. That's a pretty cool combination. So I think going in combo and bringing to a table deals with the senior, and then you guys doing those deals together. That's a really good combo. Anything else you'd sign out with?
No, that's it. I think for anyone young, leverage someone in the leverage off someone in the business that can help you with what you're missing there, which is the experience part. Don't see it as a weakness, because it certainly is nice to bring on, a new management or a listing all by yourself, but you're going to limit your numbers doing that, and you might even lose out on listing, a property if you don't try and take someone with you. So it's not a weakness, leverage off it.
And before we go, the most powerful thing I can say on this topic is it's in your mind. It's in your mind. It's in your mind. After all the things we've just said, if you don't have if you're 17 to 21 and in your mind you're behind the 8 ball, you will be behind the 8 ball. Behind on the 8 ball. I think you just got to have that in your mind, guys and girls, that, you are good enough. You are mature enough. You will be experienced enough. You have a shitload of energy that no one else has in the marketplace, that you are the best person for the job. Because I think after all these things that we've spoken about this morning, if you don't believe in yourself at that ripe young age, you're dead before you started.
Yeah, and age is age is just a number. Whether you're getting in the industry at 17 or 25, you've got the same amount of experience. So realistically, just make a start. That's it.
Absolutely.
Mark, signing out. I've got a question for you though.
Yeah.
Have you tried selling with a beard versus no beard at a young age? Because I've been told that could help.
Well, you're going to get a fake beard?
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I've got no choice at this point.
I think facial hair can add a couple of years onto you. The only problem is I find that sometimes facial hair looks like bum fluff. So you've got to be careful.
Signing out.
Yeah, signing out. Take care and have a great week, everyone. Good luck to north of New South Wales with the rain bombs, and I hope everyone survives this afternoon. And I'm sure it's a bit stressful for everyone out there. So our heart goes out to you.
Well and truly. Yeah.
See you, Ledge.
Thanks.